Virgo, you woke up knowing it wasn't a nightmare. It wasn't one of those confusing dreams you forget in 5 minutes. It was different, crystal clear, specific. And it had a face you know well. Someone who smiles at you, someone who greets you, someone you considered not a close friend, but safe, neutral, harmless. And in the dream, God showed you what's behind the smile. And now you're here, awake, trying to process it, trying to rationalize it. Because Virgos don't believe in dreams like that, right? Virgos believe in facts, in evidence, in logic. But this dream, this one was different. It had weight, it had authority. It had truth that you recognized in your body before your mind understood. And now you can't unsee it. You can't ignore it. Because God doesn't show things for nothing. And you know that. Deep down, you always knew about this person. You just didn't want to see, until he forced you to see. In a dream, where you can't run away. You can't analyze until you kill your intuition. You had to receive it. Directly, raw, true. Let's talk about the dream first. Because you remember too many details for it to be a normal dream. You saw this person, and they were doing something, or saying something, about you, behind your back, while in front of you, in real life, they treat you well. And in the dream, you felt the betrayal. Visceral. It wasn't symbolic. It was literal. You saw conversations. You saw expressions. You saw the truth they hide when they're in front of you. And you woke up with a racing heart. Angry? Not exactly. More like recognition. Like when you finally understand a joke that nobody explained, but that was always there. Click. And then you started to remember. Little things. Things you ignored. That you rationalized. That you gave the benefit of the doubt. Because Virgo is fair. Virgo doesn't judge without evidence. But the evidence was there all along. You just didn't want to put the puzzle together. And God put it together for you. In the dream. Forced you to see the complete picture. That time she complimented you, but the compliment had a sharp edge. It had poison disguised as honey. And you felt it, but convinced yourself you were being too sensitive. Paranoid. After all, she was complimenting you, right? How could it be bad? But it was. Because of the way she said it, the tone, the emphasis in the wrong place. It turned a compliment into a belittling statement. And you picked up on it. Your body picked up on it. But your mind dismissed it. It said, "You're creating a problem where there isn't one. She's being nice. Accept it." But it wasn't nice. It was a disguised attack. And you swallowed it because you're polite, because you're mature, because you don't want to create drama where perhaps there isn't any. Except that there is. There always has been. You're just too trained to give chances, to see the best, to not accuse without definitive proof. And this person counts exactly on that. Counts that you're too intelligent to act on gut feeling, that you'll need concrete evidence. And while you look for evidence, she continues. Smiling, attacking, smiling. That time, she publicly supported you but privately sabotaged you. You didn't even connect the dots at the time. She said in the meeting, "Great idea, I fully support it." And then, in a private conversation with the decision maker, she planted doubt. Subtly. She didn't say it wouldn't work. She said, "I love the idea, but do you think they thought of X? Because X could be a problem." And the decision maker thinks, true, you're right. And the idea dies. But without her fingerprints, she supported it. She only raised a valid point, and you never knew until the dream. Until God showed you her doing exactly that. And when you woke up, you started connecting the dots. How many times have your ideas mysteriously died after you shared them with her? How many times have you been unable to understand why something that seemed right suddenly turned wrong for no clear reason? And she was always there, supporting you in the open, destroying you behind the scenes. And you? You thought she was an ally, when she was exactly the opposite. But let's go deeper. Because there's a reason. There always is. Nobody does this without a reason. Nobody smiles in your face and stabs you in the back for pure amusement. There's something you represent that threatens her. Something you have that she wants, or something you are that she can't be. And that corrodes her. from the inside. And she deals with it not by improving herself, but by diminishing you. Because if she can make you seem smaller, she feels bigger. If she can sabotage your success, her failure hurts less. It's sick math of a wounded ego. And you? You didn't even know you were in competition. Because for you, it's not competition. You're just doing your job, living your life, being who you are. But for her, your existence is a threat. Your success is a personal insult. Your competence highlights her incompetence. So she doesn't root for you. She roots against you. And she hides it very well. Until God shows you. And why is God showing you this now? Why in a dream? Because you wouldn't believe it any other way. If someone told you, you would doubt it. You would ask for proof. You would defend her. You would say, "No, you don't know her like I do. She's not like that." But God didn't give you the option to doubt. He showed you directly. Without intermediaries, without a game of telephone, without interpretation. You saw it with your own inner eyes, and you can't deny it because it comes from a source that you deep down trust more than any other. It comes from divine revelation, and divine revelation isn't meant to make you feel good. It's meant to show you the truth, and the truth hurts, but it liberates because now you know. And knowing changes everything. You can no longer interact with her in the same way. You can no longer trust her. You can no longer share with her. You can no longer let your guard down. And part of you hates this. Hates losing your innocence. Hates having to be strategic with someone you'd rather just ignore. But ignorance is no longer an option. God took her away from you, purposefully. So what do you do now with this information? With this truth that nobody else knows? Do you confront her? No, because she'll deny it. She'll play the victim. She'll make you look paranoid. She'll say you're misinterpreting, that you're seeing malice where there isn't any, and other people will believe her because she's good at it, good at performing, good at appearing innocent, good at making you look crazy for accusing her. So confrontation doesn't work. Do you expose her? Also no, because without proof that others can see, you only burn yourself. You come across as a gossip, as someone who creates problems, as someone who doesn't trust without reason. And her? She comes out as a victim of unjust accusation and gains more sympathy, more allies, and you lose. So exposure doesn't work either. So what's left? Silent protection. You don't attack, but you defend. You don't confront her, but you distance yourself. You don't expose her, but you stop sharing. Stop trusting. Stop giving her ammunition, because everything you tell her, she uses. Every vulnerability you show, she files away. Every plan you share, she sabotages. So you cut off access, not dramatically, not obviously, but strategically. You're still polite, still cordial, still smiling back when she smiles. But you don't give anything real. You don't give information. You don't give emotion. You don't give opportunity. You become a smooth surface she can't grasp. And she'll notice. She'll sense something has changed. She'll try to start a deeper conversation. She'll try to create forced intimacy. And you'll be kind, but distant, polite, but cold. And she won't understand why. Because she doesn't know that you know. She doesn't know about the dream. She doesn't know that God showed you. She only knows that suddenly you're no longer available, and it will bother you not being able to explain. Because Virgo likes honesty, likes clear communication. But in this case, silence is wisdom. Because with someone like that, truth is a weapon she turns against you. And there's another layer. Because there always is. God doesn't show you just to protect you from it. He shows you to teach you about yourself, about the patterns you have, the pattern of giving the benefit of the doubt when your body is already saying no, the pattern of ignoring intuition because there's no material proof, the pattern of being so fair that you become unfair to yourself. How many people like her have you let get close? How many times have you felt something off and ignored it? How many times have you betrayed yourself by trusting someone who didn't deserve it because you didn't have a valid reason to distrust them? Your body knew. It always knew. But you don't listen to your body. You listen to logic. And logic can be deceived. Logic can be manipulated. But the body feels energy. The body feels intention. The body never makes mistakes. And you have a history of overriding your body with your mind, of disqualifying feelings with analysis. And God is telling you, stop that. Start trusting what you feel, because I didn't give you a nervous system for nothing. I gave it to you to detect danger, and you ignore it repeatedly. So I'm going to have to show you in a way that you can't ignore. I'll have to give you a dream, so you can finally wake up. But there's a part of you that still resists, that still wants to believe that maybe the dream is just anxiety, projected fear, paranoia. Because accepting that the dream is real means accepting that you were deceived. It means accepting that your judgment failed. It means accepting that someone saw you as foolish enough to deceive. And your ego doesn't like that. Your ego prefers, no, you're seeing things. She's okay. You're just making it up. But every time you try to convince yourself of this, the dream returns. Details return, and you feel it again. That weight, that knowing, and you simply know. And resisting the knowing is betraying yourself. It's choosing the comfort of illusion instead of the discomfort of truth. And Virgo is many things, but she's not cowardly, so you accept it. She's not who you thought she was, and maybe she never was. Because let's be honest, the signs were always there, from the beginning. The first time you met her, there was something. It wasn't love at first sight. It was discomfort at first sight. But you rationalized. You said, I'm tired. I'm in a bad mood. It's not her. And you continued. And she was pleasant, on the surface, always polite, always friendly, always saying the right thing. And you thought, see, I was wrong. First impressions can be deceiving, except it wasn't. The first impression was correct. You were the one who disqualified it. Because she's good at first impressions. That's what she practices. Impeccable initial performance. It's only with time that the mask slips. It's only when she thinks you trust her that her true face appears. And even then, only in moments. Only when she thinks no one is watching. Or only in actions, not words. So it's easy to lose, easy not to connect, until God connects for you. And here's the part that hurts. You liked her, not love, but affection, appreciation. You thought it was reciprocated. You thought you had mutual respect. And maybe she even thinks she does. Maybe she doesn't even recognize her own deceit. Maybe she has a narrative in her head where she's a good person who's just protecting herself, where sabotaging you is legitimate self-defense against your unintentional threat, where smiling in front of you while destroying you behind your back is just being clever, being strategic, doing what's necessary to survive. She might not even see it as betrayal. She sees it as a game. And you didn't even know you were playing. Because you don't play games like that. You're direct. You're honest. You are what you seem to be. And you assume others are too. And that's your greatest weakness and your greatest strength. Weakness because it makes you vulnerable to manipulators. Strength because it keeps your integrity intact. And now you have a choice. Descend to her level, start playing games, start smiling and stabbing too, or maintain your integrity and simply protect yourself. You already know the answer, because you're not her, and you don't want to be, so you won't retaliate in the same way. You won't plant doubts about her. You won't sabotage. You won't fake a smile. You'll simply withdraw, energetically, emotionally, strategically. You'll be present when necessary, but absent when possible. You'll be professional if the context demands it, but never personal again, never real again. And she'll feel the change but won't be able to complain because you did nothing. You weren't rude, you weren't malicious, you just changed. You became unavailable, and that's your right. Your right to choose where you invest your energy, with whom you share your time, who you trust. And her? She lost those privileges without even knowing she had them, until she lost them. And you know what's interesting? Since the dream, you've started noticing other things, small things things you never paid attention to before. The way she talks about other people when they're not around. Always with reservations. Always with an observation that seems neutral but plants doubt. Oh, so-and-so is great, but sometimes, you know? And she lets the sentence hang in the air, and you're left with a negative impression of so-and-so without her having said anything concrete. It's art, the art of destroying reputations without leaving a fingerprint. And you realize, if she does this to others in front of you, what does she say about you in front of others? And the answer scares you and liberates you, because now you understand. It's not personal, it's who she is. She does this to everyone. You're not special. You're not the only target. You're just another one. And in a strange way, that's a relief, because it's not about you. It's about her, about the emptiness inside her that she fills by diminishing others. But there are consequences of knowing, because you can't unsee. You can't go back to innocence. Every time she smiles now, you see her teeth. Every time she greets you, you hear what she doesn't say. Every time she compliments you, you feel the poison. And it's exhausting. Exhausting to be aware, to be alert, to be protected. Part of you wanted to go back to not knowing, to when interaction with her was simple, superficial, but harmless in your perception. But you can't, because once you see forever. And God didn't give you this vision to torture you. He gave it to protect you. He gave it because there are things coming, situations where she would have the opportunity to seriously harm you, and you, trusting her, would be vulnerable. But now you are prepared. Now you know how to keep sensitive information to yourself. You know not to share important plans. You know not to give her what she needs to destroy you. And this can save you, literally, you. Because in the coming months, there will be a moment when she will try something, without knowing that you know. She will try to harm you, assuming you still trust her. And she will fail, because you will have protected yourself, in advance, silently. And she won't understand how you knew, how you protected yourself without her realizing she needed to. And you will never tell her. You will never say, God showed me in a dream, because she wouldn't believe it. She would ridicule you, but you will know, and God will know, and that's enough. Because divine protection doesn't need human validation. It works even when nobody believes, especially when nobody believes. And there's something else about dreams, about how God speaks. He doesn't speak to everyone in the same way. Sometimes he speaks through people, through circumstances, through feelings. But with you, Virgo, he knows you need something more concrete, more specific, something your analytical mind can't dismiss as coincidence. So he gives you a dream, a detailed dream, a memorable dream, a dream you can't rationalize outwardly. And it's a gift, it's consideration, it's God knowing you well enough to speak a language you understand. And you honor that gift by believing even without external proof, believing against your own skeptical nature, because something inside you recognizes the authority of the source and obeys and changes behavior based on that. And that is faith, real faith, not blind faith, but informed faith, faith based on direct experience with the divine. So what do you do in the next few days? The next few weeks? You observe, silently, you test, subtly, you offer false information, unimportant but traceable, and you observe where it appears. And when it appears on the other side, distorted, planted against you, you confirm. The dream was right, and you adjust. You cut off more access. You create more distance. You build more protection until it's completely peripheral, present but not important, visible but not influential. And your life improves. Because the poison you didn't know you were drinking stops making you sick. And you don't even notice it at first. You just notice that you're lighter, less anxious, less drained. And you connect. It was her all this time. Her energy, her intention, her falsehood. It was affecting you without you knowing. And now that you've created distance, you heal, you breathe, you flourish. And her? She looks for another target. Because people like that always look. They can't stop. It's compulsion. It's addiction. It's who she is. And you thank God, not only for showing you, but for taking you away, removing you from her reach before she caused real harm. And the biggest lesson? It's not about her. It's about you, about trusting yourself, about honoring your intuition, about not needing material proof to act in self-preservation, about understanding that not everyone who smiles is a friend, that not everyone who praises you supports you, that not everyone who is close is on your side. And that doesn't make you paranoid. It makes you wise. It makes you protected. It makes you selective about where you put your energy and trust. And there are people who will say, wow, you've become cold. You've changed. You don't trust anymore. And you will smile because they don't know. They don't know what you saw. They don't know what God revealed. They don't know that you didn't become cold. You became conscious. And consciousness seems like coldness to those who are used to you being used. But for you it's freedom. It's power. It's finally understanding that protecting yourself isn't selfishness. It's responsibility. It's honoring the temple God gave you. It's not allowing just anyone to have access to the sacred, to the real, to the true you. That's a privilege. That needs to be earned. And her? She never deserved it. You just didn't know. Until you did. And now that you know, you act. Wisely. Silently. Effectively. Just as God taught you. In a dream.